Woo! We're live. Hello. Okay, so this is the live show for the Sassy Book Club hosted by me. So you're on my channel. Hit subscribe if you want to, if you haven't already. And today we're going to discuss Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. And oh my god, I can't wait to discuss it. This is a necessary thing because a lot of things happened in this book. And next month, this month, I should say, since it's June 10th. This month we're reading El Deafo by Cece Bell. It's a graphic novel, and I don't have it with me to show it to you, but you can find links to Goodreads and such like that down below if you're interested in reading June's book of the month with us. And now you guys can introduce yourselves. Sam, go first.
Hi, I'm Samantha from Samantha's Books.
Paula.
Hi, I'm Paula from Fandom and Books.
And Jade.
Hi, I'm Jade from Bedtime Bookworm.
Perfect. So these lovely people are all going to be linked down below. They're not currently linked. Sorry, I was not prepared. And yeah, so you can, I'll make sure to find them, and I'll probably tweet their links out. So make sure to follow that if you want to. And let's go ahead and just start with like non-spoiler thoughts and star ratings. Yes? Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars, like a 4.5. It wasn't quite a 5, but it was really close to a 5 stars because I really liked basically everything except for the romance. The romance killed me and made me so mad. So that was the one thing that I didn't like about it. But I really loved the magic system, and I listened to the audiobook as well as reading it physically, and the audiobook is amazing. The narrator is the same person that narrated The Hate U Give, so if you've read that, it's amazing. You guys go ahead.
Okay. Talking about this one.
The cover.
Yes, the cover. Beautiful. Oh. I gave it a 4 out of 5. The romance didn't so much bother me. It was one of the characters constantly flip-flopping between like, yes, this needs to happen, no, this needs to happen, but this. So that was the most frustrating thing about it for me.
I have so many notes.
So it's like I took notes and it was just like, seriously? Are you kidding me? Come on.
So much.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm definitely excited for the next one.
What about you, Sam?
I gave it a 4.5 as well. I also I pretty much liked everything apart from the romance. I was like, oh, this just didn't need to happen. I thought it was really annoying. Also, I found it to be a little bit slow at times, but I was also in a reading slump at the time, so I think that was also part of the problem. But yeah, it was really good, and I'm really looking forward to the next one as well.
What about you, Jade?
I also gave it 4 stars, so we all gave it 4 stars. It was fun. I thought it was pretty fast-paced and action-packed, and I really liked how, to me, it didn't seem like the action stopped. There was always something that goes wrong or something that they had to do. There were a few plot things that I had issues with that I just didn't love, but the ending was pretty good and definitely left me wanting more, and I'm excited for more. I liked almost all of the characters. The flip-flopping also got to me as well. But I think my favorite characters were Amari and Zane. So I didn't actually like Zaylee all that much personally. But overall, it was really good. I had a few issues with it, but I am really excited to see where the plot goes next.
Sweet. That's interesting. I liked Zane too, but I really liked both Zaylee and Amari, and I was regularly rooting for a female-female romance that just did not happen.
That would have been so good.
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
I
don't know, Zaylee's just one of those characters who does whatever she wants, even at the expense. She doesn't think before she acts. She just acts, and that kind of stuff drives me nuts because I feel like people are constantly having to clean up for after her and like clean up her messes. And I just in general don't like characters like that. So that's just like a me thing for sure.
Yeah. Real quick, if anyone who's watching wants to ask a question or just comment or say anything, then a lot of us, I think most of us, are all on the live show chat. So come say hi, ask a question, and we'll answer any of those if you have them. And do you think that we should start getting into spoilers? I think that we covered our non-spoilery thoughts if you guys want to.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you haven't read the book and you don't want to be spoiled, I can't say that word, then leave. That's your only warning. Goodbye. Okay. Yeah, I'm rude. Sorry. Get out. Don't yell at me about spoiling you. Okay, so there's so many things to talk about. Like, I can't even. Can we just go right into the romance since I feel like we all have something to say about that.
Non like just disappear.
I know, like the flip-flopping just killed me, and I knew the second that they started like doing a weird, it gave me the Star Wars The Last Jedi vibes where they have like that weird connection, and I was like, are they gonna romance that? Because I'm not into it. And then it did, and I was like, dang it! Stop! Why?
I thought every bit of the romance was predictable as hell. Even between Amari and Zane, their little kind of thing. But even when Rowan turned up later on, I was like, please don't be a love interest. The triangle. Just let's just not go there. Please don't.
I'm so mad.
Yeah, I didn't like the romance between Zaylee and Amon. Is that his name? Amon?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I didn't like that romance, but I also, like Polly was saying, it was really predictable. So I saw it coming like as soon as they had that special connection, I knew that's where it was going. Yes. So like I was prepared for it in that sense. And so it didn't bother me, I think, as much as it could have. But I mean, definitely I didn't like it. It was dumb and annoying.
Yeah, I just always hated him, and I was like, why is this happening? He's the worst.
It felt very much like that was one of those things it was just like, oh, here's a YA trope. And I'm depressed.
Let's play into it.
Sierra's making a comeback. She's back. Somebody asked.
Yeah.
Amma Lyrical asked, did any one of you have trouble keeping the POVs straight? I didn't, because I listened to it, I think is why, and the narrator gave a very particular voice to both the female girls, both the two different girls and the two different boys. They all sounded very different, and so it was easier for me, maybe because of that. I didn't have an issue with it.
Yeah, I listened to it and read it as well, so there was one moment where I was like, hang on, who's this? I like got flustered like one time with like who it was, and I was like, oh, okay. It's okay. It's Amari. It's fine. Because I think it was at the point where a lot of crap was happening, where it's like, because she did tend to like, it's like dragging out the story, and then just a whole heap of action. So it was like, who's talking now?
There was like a portion of the book where all of the chapters got really short, so we were switching POVs like every 3 pages, and there was maybe a couple times where I was like, wait, what happened? But I also had stopped listening to it at that point, and I was reading it, not listening to it. So I don't know, maybe that was why. What about you guys, Samantha and Jade?
I sometimes got a bit confused, but like I just flick back to the chapter again and see who it was. Bless you.
Bless you.
But but that's just because I tend to read things like quickly, and then I sometimes just like forget to read like whose point of view it is. So
yeah, I listened to it as well, so I didn't have too many issues with that either. So definitely try the audiobook. Well, I guess anyone watching at this point has read it because we're in the spoilers.
But if you want to read it,
yes, the audiobook is definitely a good way to go.
That
And the way that the audio, like the narrator pronounced all the words, like I would have said them completely differently in my head.
Yeah,
Definitely.
like when I started reading it, I switched back and forth. So when I would read it, I like would just skip over the magic that would happen, like the spells, because I was like, I don't know how to pronounce that. I just, it's a spell. Moving on.
Right?
Yeah, I did that because I read it. So I was just like, I don't know what any of this means, but they're doing some magic, so something's going to happen.
Exactly. King of Tech Deck, which is my brother Peyton, says hi. So hi, Peyton.
Hi. Lyrical said that she confused everyone with Zaylee, even 3 lines into a chapter.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I could easily see how that would happen, especially without the voices in my head already. After because I started with the audio and then I moved to reading, so by then I already knew how to pronounce all the names, and like I had her voice in my head when I was reading it, so that was definitely nice for that. How did you guys feel about the magic, like the system of magic?
So I'm a little conflicted, actually. Like, I like how there's so many different gods. I like that it was religion-based, but I just wish there was more explanation. Like, it definitely seems like it's one of those non-structured magic systems, which in general I just have a harder time getting along with. But there's just so much stuff that wasn't explained. Like, I still, to this day, don't really understand this dream world where they were able to, like, talk to each other. And, like, especially towards the end, it seemed like they were getting access to the dream world when they weren't even sleeping. And I was like, what is happening? How are you talking to each other? So like the whole dream world part of it really frustrated me because I didn't understand how it works at all.
I think that was mainly down to Anand's power.
Yep.
Yeah.
Being able to create this dreamscape world. I'm just trying to look up what actually, he was a connector, right?
Yeah, so he has the power to make
spirit of the mind, spirit, and dreams.
Yeah, so he can control your dreams, but he can also control like what you see when you're awake, which is I think why he was able to do it later, because they did. I agree that they didn't explain everything, because one of the things that I was like squinty-eyed at was how easily everyone could control their powers the second that they got them, and I was like, how do you know how to do that? Because
I felt the same way.
Yeah, like throughout the book they do get more powerful. Like Iman doesn't know how to do everything at the beginning, and you notice that as the book goes on is when he can start controlling Zaylee and putting her into that dreamscape when she's awake. So like there was sort of some structure, but there was no explanations on how they knew what to do and how to make anything happen. That was kind of annoying, but
yeah, I mean, I guess part of it's just like natural ability or something, and you know, from the gods and stuff. I wish things had been explained a little bit more, and I'm hoping. I mean, we didn't even get to see all of the different kinds of magic in this one book, so that's like exciting because I know that she'll explain more of it in the next book and in the rest of the series. But there were definitely points where I was like, wait a minute, how do you know how to do that? Or like, what's going on here?
Yeah, and like I have a feeling that because the only person that we meet as an adult who already knows a lot about the magic system dies. What's his name? The dude who was at the palace or whatever, who's killed by the king's mistress. That one?
Yeah.
So I don't remember his name, but he's the only one.
Yeah, but later on it was told that
the girl, the woman.
The Mama, whatever her name is.
Yeah, Mama Agba.
That's
so
it.
If Mama Agba is alive, which we don't know for sure, we think she might be dead. If she's alive, I think that she is going to be like the key of a lot of explanation, and we might get some more world building in the sequel, because this book is kind of just like run for the hills when you don't know how to do anything or like what's going on. So I was able to like kind of just be okay with not understanding everything, because none of the characters are understanding anything either. Like they don't know how their magic works. So why would we know how their magic works?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was able to be okay with some of that. Did we get another question? Oh, I'm a Lyrical said, I love the idea behind the world of magic. It's based on Orisha, which apparently is a real religion. Yeah, it's West African religion. Tomi Adeyemi did a bunch of research throughout that religion because if I remember correctly, her family has like West African heritage from back before they became African Americans. And yeah,
Well, she's Nigerian, isn't she?
Is she? I don't know.
So.
The only information that I got was during one of the panels that she was at Y'all West, and she didn't go into detail of it. She just said, I did a bunch of research, and it was based on the fact that West African is
Nigerian American.
Does it say it in the cover? I'm dumb.
Yeah, it says a Nigerian American writer.
Oh, nice. Cool.
So when you actually pick up a book, read it. All of it.
Yeah, I never read the author's note. I always feel really bad. I don't do that. Every once in a while I will, but
you should did you listen to the author's note on this one? You really should.
Did she read it herself, or did the
No, she didn't read it herself, but it goes into
it really ties it into
what
like
she felt like she needed to write the book, because it was there's a lot of Black Lives Matter stuff happening in the author's note. So yeah, go read that.
I almost wish I had read the author's note before reading the book, because I think I would have seen things a little bit differently and picked up more on some of the parallels and stuff. Like often that's what happens is I'll read an author's note and I'll be like, this would have been helpful to know before I read the book.
Why is it at the back?
I don't know.
Yeah, I also know I was watching a video, I think Livy, what's her channel name? Livy something. Yes. She did a short review on both A Court of Frost and Starlight and of Children of Blood and Bone, and she said that reading it, she thought there were a lot of connections with Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then she found out that Avatar: The Last Airbender is Tomi Adeyemi's favorite thing. So like she did base the characters on it, which makes so much sense with stupid Iman. I hate him.
Yeah.
He makes me want to die.
Books and Baking asks, are you ladies witches? Nope.
Witches? No. I live for nope, I'm not.
No, sadly, my Hogwarts letter never arrived, so I've accepted my fate as just a human.
Unfortunate. Okay, what other things do we need to discuss? I mean, we could just go straight to the end and discuss the end.
Not ready for the end. Okay, so what did you guys think about that whole... So, I mean, basically something that happens in the middle of the book and then something that happens like between the middle and the end I want to talk about. But first we'll start with the middle of the book. So the section with like the boat and they were like fighting in this arena, that stuff was really hard for me to wrap my head around and just like understand what it even looked like and how it worked. Like they were in the middle of the desert. Where do they get all this water from? So it's one of the plot things I had issues with it. I was just like, I just don't understand how this works. And I mean, maybe I am one of those readers who needs more explanation than others, but I was just kind of confused by it. And I mean, it was interesting and it obviously helped move the plot along, but that and this other thing that I want to talk about later are both like plot things that I feel like she didn't know where to take the story next. And like I mean, obviously she used it to progress the story, but I don't know. I just didn't love it because it didn't really make sense to me.
Yeah, that scene was really hard to follow for me too. Like, I think all of Zaylee's magic is really hard for me to wrap my head around, and I think that's the problem. Because I didn't understand exactly what she was doing. Like, there are souls, and she can hear the souls or, like, feel the souls, and then she can, like, make them into something. But I wasn't grasping until far too late that she wasn't, like, bringing back bodies from the dead, but she was bringing, like, animation of whatever was around. Like the water was a thing, and I was like, my head is too confused for this.
Yeah, I kind of used it as anyone's like seen the Anastasia movie, you know, when Rasputin makes all the like mystical thing. It's like I kind of just went with that imagery in my head.
Oh yeah, I like that.
That makes way more sense now. Yeah, I mean, it was really like cool to try to see, but it was really hard to visualize, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
As far as like the arena though goes, the other part of that scene, like I imagined it as a gladiator ring that they could put water into, because she talks about how all of the not slaves but the slaves that I don't remember what they're called, they don't get access to water because they're using all of the water to fill up the thing for the ship to play the game. And so that's how I kind of imagined it, is some sort of like gladiator arena that they can fill in with water when they're playing the game.
But just think about how big that needs to be and how much water, and like where do the ships go afterwards? They have to like sail out of the arena. And I mean, I thought it was a really good example of like oppression and like some of the themes that she was trying to convey. Like I thought it did a good job of that, but just like, I don't know, it was a little unfinished for me. And I just had a lot of questions.
Yeah, like how did the building work? Like in regards to like the ships and stuff, like where did they go? Where did the water go? Where was the water kept?
Yeah,
like,
where do they keep it?
all that stuff. Yeah, it would almost be nice to see this book in a film adaptation, because then they would have to create what you're seeing.
Yeah, they're gonna make a movie, right? I think it already got optioned.
Yeah, I think it got
definitely am looking forward to seeing that.
Hopefully they don't fuck it up.
True.
Yeah, they always
Okay, what about the other thing that you mentioned another scene?
Yeah, so it's when they find the other magic people and they have like that camp that they go to, and they kind of like get separated and then reunited, but then they decide to have like this festival for the gods, and I'm just sitting here like, wait, you're trying to get to this like island before the solstice? Like, why are we throwing a party? Like, obviously shit's gonna go down. Like, why are we doing this? And so that really frustrated me, because I was like, okay, we're gonna have a party and we're like gonna make out and like move forward with the romance plot when we know that there's a time limit, and of course like people come and attack us. So like that whole section of the book, I was just like, what is happening? Why?
Like, Of course. Anytime you think you have time, you have no time. Don't do that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the same. Go ahead.
The thing is that like when the solstice, like, you know, it was like, okay, we have a finite time to do this, and then it was like that was mentioned, and then they just carry on doing the thing, whatever, getting the suns down, and then like party, then it's like, oh yeah, how many days do we have left? It's like 5. All being well. It's like, really?
Stupid.
Yeah. Well, and of course, that's also the area where all the flip-flopping with Amon happened, too. And I'm just like, what? I just felt like it was, like, bloating the book. I was like, come on, we got to get to the solstice and the island. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It was very frustrating. That was the same thing how I felt with the scene previously before Iman shows up. It's the scene right before he shows up where they, like, go and play in the river. And I'm like, this is a bad plan. Something is going to happen here. Whenever you lull, you know something's going to go down.
Right.
To be fair, I got annoyed with the just before the whole flip-flopping happened with Anan and the stuff, it was more of a case of okay, so we're kind of leaning towards liking Anan now, and then all of a sudden Zayn flips out and you're like, whoa, okay, why is this happening now? It's like, I understand it, but take a step back, dude.
Yeah, I was just as frustrated with Zayn as I was with Inan.
Yeah, he was really mean to Zelly at times. Like, he was always like, oh, this is all your fault. Like, why did you do this? And it's like, dude, you're supposed to be an older brother. You're supposed to be nice. Like,
yeah,
I have older brothers. And then
well, that's because he was tired of cleaning up after her shit. Like, he was always cleaning up after her messes. I don't know. I love Zayn, and I thought he was a good older brother trying to take care of his sister, except his sister kept doing stupid stuff. That's how I looked at it.
I mean, I'm an older sister. I have 4 younger siblings. So, like, to a certain extent, I understood his frustrations because I do get it. But also, I was just like, you're being really rude. And also, you're not being helpful. Like, you're just fucking everything up too in different ways.
I mean, I'm sorry, but if my brother called me a whore, that
was where I was done.
Yeah, no, that was across the line.
I was like, no, I would have smacked him as well. To be
just for
fair.
kissing a guy, like, that was a little crossing the line.
That I think until that moment, I was like, okay, we could spend more time on this Zane and Amari romance. If we want a romance, because stop doing this one. Do this one more. And then he said that, and I was like, never mind, Amari deserves better than him. Okay, so there's also, like, that scene in the palace where we get some information on the magic system. Mm-hmm. Like, how did you guys feel about that? Because I thought that was really cool, and I wish that we had gotten more. Like, I wanted more of it, even though it was slower. How did you guys feel?
Which bit are you talking about?
So, like, in that scene where they go to, like, I keep calling it a palace, but, like, it's like a temple.
It's like a temple.
Yeah. The temple scene where the 3 of them go, they meet that dude who then dies. And then also Inan in the temple, too, was really interesting to me.
Mm.
And
I didn't love the temple. I mean, it sounds like I didn't like the book, but I did. But the temple stuff, I don't know if it was just, like, how unstructured the magic is, but, like, I didn't understand why all the things were happening that were happening. And but it was interesting, but it was also, like, an out-of-body experience, like, for Zaylee, and I didn't completely understand it, but it was interesting.
Yeah. It was hard to follow, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Even though it was fascinating, it was like, I'm almost with you, but I'm not with you.
Because it was all, like, in her head. It wasn't, like, stuff that was actually happening. And I think the fact that it's, like, happening in, like, an alternate reality almost, like, not a physical reality, that it just makes it a lot harder to understand.
Mm-hmm.
And I come back to, like, I didn't understand the why. And I think if I understood the why, I would understand the rest of it a little bit better.
Yeah, it definitely felt like the chosen one trope. Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why is she the chosen one, though? Like, they did the chosen one trope, but, like, gave no explanation to why she was the one that was chosen.
Yeah. I'm hoping we learn more about it in the next books.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah,
well,
like
to skip forward to the end of that,
yes.
It seems like she's just brought magic back for everybody.
Except for herself, right?
But I have the theory about that. When she was imprisoned and she got injected in the neck, I think they injected her with magicite as well as something else to keep her awake, and that's why her magic was down.
Do you think it's going to wear off, maybe?
Possibly. That's the theory.
Yeah.
Or she's going to have to be, like, reawakened or something.
Mm.
But how? And the ending was confusing because, like, if she doesn't have magic, how is she using blood magic? But it's just one of those things we can't question. Blood magic is stronger, so.
Yeah.
So I was not expecting that they would show up with her dad. So when her dad showed up, I was like, oh my God, what is going to happen? But then after a couple seconds, I was like, well, actually, I know what's going to happen. They're going to kill him.
Yeah.
So, like, I wasn't expecting him to show up, but when he did show up, I was like, okay, so now he's going to die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I really just wanted to actually jump in the book and just really, like, backhand Inan upside of the head and just go, seriously, dude, this is not helping your cause, and everybody's gonna die.
Yeah, Inan's, like, thought process does not make sense to me. Like, it does not make sense.
Yeah, until a certain point, I was like, okay, I can understand where your thoughts are because you've been ingrained to think these certain things and you're struggling with that because you're seeing things that don't match that, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, this is, like, classic case of an example of, like, being brought up in a racist, like, family and then realizing that racism doesn't make any actual sense. Like, I got the symbolism. You're doing a great job so far. And then when he switches over, that was nice. And then all of a sudden he gets mad because he can't be king if he doesn't follow his dad's rules or something. Or like he's too afraid of the magic people or something. And nothing made any sense. I was like, no. Stop fucking everything up.
Yeah. Well, and I know like towards the end of the book, they kind of reveal some things about the king, their dad, to try and make us feel bad for him and like understand why he's a villain. But like I didn't care. I didn't actually care, like, because he was still treating his children like shit. Like, I don't care what happened to him before. That doesn't give him permission to treat his kids now the way he was treating them.
Exactly. And like also I love a good morally gray villain, which was Inan. Like, case in point, here's our morally gray character. But I also love that when you have that morally gray villain, you have on top of that the evil overlord. Like, it's a beautiful like villain story to have both. And so when you were trying to like humanize the king, I was like, no, don't do that.
I don't think it worked. I'm sure it worked for some people, but for me, I saw straight through it and I was like, nope, you're still a shitty person. I don't care.
Yeah, these are not excuses for you being a horrible human. I don't understand. And like for you treating everyone, you have like erased an entire group of people because a few of those people destroyed your family.
And I call that into question, to be fair, because there's parts of the book where he was like, oh no, my dad really wanted to get everyone, like, you know, everyone under what he wanted to bring everyone together, and then whoops, all my family was killed, but yeah, I survived. I'm like, really?
Did you plan it?
Did you just set fire to everyone because you wanted to be king? Is that what happened?
Ooh, I haven't thought about that.
That's juicy. That is so juicy.
That's true. Yes, I hope that that's a thing. That would make it even better. Like to bring back, like that would be such a nice arc to have. You try to humanize him and it didn't work, and then to realize that he actually is just this horrible, horrible man.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that Inan has to be the one who realizes that his dad is just unredeemable.
Yes, like when are we gonna have that happen? When are we going to have that happen?
Yeah, and I've also been thinking, like, in the next book or in the rest of the series, if Zaylee at any point decides she's okay with Inan again, that's going to be really frustrating because who can forgive someone for killing their dad? Like, I don't think anybody could. So I feel like that's like a broken bridge and we should not go back there. So we'll see what happens in the future.
It's going to irritate me if they go backwards.
I think that's unforgivable. Killing your dad. Like, no way.
Yeah. Like, how are you gonna? It's the same. Okay, we're gonna go back in time for it because we're gonna go back to the Hunger Games days, and that's literally why Gale and Katniss can't work. Is because he killed her sister. No, you can't forgive him.
Okay, let's not go there. I'm Gale, so I know I'm in the minority there.
Yeah, but like,
are you team Gale or are you team, like, you know, Hemsworth brother? Because
no, I've always been team Gale. My argument was that he didn't kill her on purpose. Like, that was not his intention. Anyways.
Oh, okay. So the intentions were fine, but the act, it was an accident.
It was an accident.
Yeah, it was Coin's fault, not.
I guess that's true. Like, he didn't know that she would be there.
Right. So that's always been my argument and why. I mean, I'm also just a sucker for, like, friends to lovers. Like, you know, getting together with your best friend has always been just a thing for me. So yeah, I'm a sucker for the trope. And I stand by the fact that he did not know Prim was there. And it was an accident. It was not his fault. He was trying to kill the bad people, not the good people.
That's true. That's true. I can live with that opinion.
Okay. Back to this book.
Yeah.
But didn't Inan actually die?
Inan?
Yeah.
I was so confused by the ending. I can't even. I also read it back in March. I can't remember who died. And
wait,
yeah, but I sworn he died.
I did not catch that, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
I'm so lost. He didn't
maybe
die.
he was like about to be killed, but then didn't die. I think that's actually what happened.
No, his dad stabbed him. And then he was going to go and actually, like, you know, slice his head off after he'd, like, stomped on his foot. And that's when Amari came in and just went, no!
Did I miss this entire chapter or something?
Seriously?
I think that he was about to die, but that whatever Amari did kept him
Stopped
from
it?
dying. I don't remember.
Because doesn't she swipe at her dad? Because there's that scene where he, like, you're in her point of view, and she's saying, like, he doesn't think that I'll do it, but then she does it. Whatever, to the king, I don't know. But I don't know if she actually heard him or not. Man, how long ago did I read this book? Why can't I remember the ending?
Well, the ending is everything happens so fast. It's really hard to keep it straight.
That's true, that's true.
I finished it, like, earlier on today. Yeah, like
so it's
like 2
freshest
hours
on
ago.
Paula's mind.
Yeah, 2 hours ago. I'm just checking my notes.
Well, I would kind of be a little bit happy if Anon was dead because it means we wouldn't accidentally go back to that romance.
True. I think maybe if any, I don't think he's dead. I think they probably left it like open-ended so that we wouldn't know until the next book, maybe.
Yeah, and you might even think he's dead for a while, and then he's gonna pop in somewhere.
One of those things. Yeah.
I don't know, because I mean, Amari would have drugged him out of there. He would have been wherever Zaylee woke up.
But maybe someone doesn't know that he's alive. So maybe we'll get, because we have so many points of view going on that like it could potentially come where like Zaylee thinks he's dead, but Amari thinks knows he's alive, or one of those ways, or something along those lines. Maybe he ends up going back with the king, and then Amari and Zaylee both think he's dead, but he's not.
The king's dead.
I was going to say, didn't the king die?
That's right. Okay, so I do remember that, because isn't Amari the one that killed him?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Man, I feel like I don't remember the ending of this book at all. You have to read this last chapter, because, man, I'm lost.
Who do you think had the most character development throughout the book?
Amari.
Yeah.
Agreed.
My little baby Amari, I loved her so much. She's the type of character that I tend to gravitate towards instead of Zaylee's type of character.
I loved the conversation between, like, the conversation that Tomi Adeyemi gave us between having a very strong, physically strong fighter female character and a other strong female character, but doesn't mean she's strong the same way. Like, yeah, I like that. I mean, she can sword fight, but she's also terrified during that boat scene. And yeah, I loved that.
Yeah,
that bit annoyed me a little bit though. Whether it was just like, because it had set up like, that she'd been taught to fight and all this. And it's like, why are you being such a little wallflower? It's like, woman up, get in there.
Yeah. Well, she does by the end. I think I liked that we got to watch her get there. Like, I think. Yeah. Because it's frustrating at the beginning. You're like, man, do it.
Yeah.
But she doesn't do it yet. And then she does it eventually. Yeah, I really liked her character. I think she's my favorite because it was fun to watch her be. It was fun to be frustrated watching her, and then to finally get. It's like when you like watch, I don't know, like a kid try something over and over again, or when you try something over and over again, and then you finally do it, whatever that happens to be, and you're like, yes.
And she seemed like the more relatable character because she was like, even though the romance between her and Zane, when she was like, okay, it's not love, but it's something there. She actually like kind of says those lines in the book, whereas with Zaylee and Anna, it's just like, no, I love them. It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't.
And especially them. Like, you literally tried to kill each other not that long ago. Can you take a chill pill?
Yeah.
So some people had issues with Zaylee and Amari's friendship happening really quickly. I didn't really think anything of that. Did any of you guys think it happened too quickly?
No, I don't think it happened quickly at all.
I didn't think so either, but I've seen other like reviews where people said that.
I mean, I guess I could see there's like a switch that happens. Like she goes from hating her, Zaylee goes from hating her to becoming friends with her. But whatever happened in that scene, I don't remember what it was off the top of my head. It made sense to me that they like had this bond in that moment, over whatever it was.
Yeah.
So it didn't bother me at all. I mean,
to me, it was always Zaylee who like was the one that was stopping their friendship. Like Amari was always there, always wanting to be her friend, and Zaylee wasn't into it. So I mean, and it kind of, to me, it fits with Zaylee's character to just like change her mind all of a sudden. I don't know.
True.
Yeah.
She needs to get her shit together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked their friendship. I actually like reading the beginning of it when Zaylee doesn't like her. I was like, okay, but you're gonna be friends eventually, so can we get there?
Right.
Like, I know this is where this is going. Let's go. All right. So any more things, or should we start wrapping up final thoughts? Final opinions? What are we most... Ooh, do we want to... I'm really bad at this, but do we want to try to fan cast the movie?
I'm really bad at that too.
Is anybody bad at it? I mean, honestly, we know that Amanda Sandberg is going to be Zaylee or Amari because she's in everything. So it'll be her.
Is that the girl that's doing The Darkest Minds? Sorry.
She's in The Darkest Minds, and she's playing Star Carter in The Hate You Give.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think she'd make a good Amari, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'm a lyrical. Was just like, I didn't even finish. Didn't really enjoy the book. Should have been edited better. Now I feel
I
like
think I could agree with that.
Yeah, and now I feel like I didn't really miss anything. I had issues with the characters, plot, and writing. I'm a minority though. It's like, no, just tell us what issues you had with it, with the characters and all the things. We want all the stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there are definitely, it's not a perfect book, which I think is why all of us rated it under 5 stars.
Right.
But given that, it's still
fun.
Yeah, it was still a fun book. And like, I'm definitely excited to get more from the story because I want it to be more fleshed out.
Mm-hmm.
And like, also keep in mind that this is a debut author, and she's only 24. She's younger than me. It pisses me off.
Yeah, I agree. I think this book had a lot of things going for it, and it wasn't perfect, and that's why, you know, we've had so much to like talk about, but it was still a really fun ride. And I think for me, I am looking for it to being more fleshed out. I think that was like my biggest problem. I just felt like there needed to be a little bit more behind the story. So I think we're going to get that. You know, this was her first book, which is just amazing.
Yeah, I think even some of my notes at the beginning was like, I thought Zane was going to be a 2-dimensional dick brother character, but no, he seems to be coming on quite well.
Yeah, I thought Zane was going to be a lot more annoying than he was, so that's good.
Yeah.
Even though I did still find him annoying. And he called his sister a whore, and I'm not okay with it.
Yeah.
I think she actually did a really good job of like fleshing out the characters. Like, I feel like all of them developed in some way, like throughout the book. Which
some
cannot
of them
be every single way book.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I feel like each of them had their own arc to get through, and some of them were more fleshed out than others.
Hi.
Hi. You're on YouTube. What's up? That's Sierra's sister, sorry. She just like scoots. Yeah, like all of the characters I felt went through their own arc. Like, they each have their own flaws, and some of them got more of an arc than others, sure, but still, like, we got somewhere with each of them.
I think she did quite good with the writing style as well. I thought it was like at some points it did kind of just fall flat, but there's other points where she was describing things and it's like she had decent enough imagery where you could like, oh, I can see that. And then there's other times when she was describing stuff and you were like, huh?
Yeah.
So it's like, but I think she did, for, like you said, debut author, I think she did quite a good job.
I also feel like some of the reasons that it was at times hard to see that imagery is because it was because of it's all imagery I've never seen before. Like, for this
Right.
this magic system is something unlike anything I've ever read personally. So it was just like, I have no concept of what you're talking about. Like the animation of the souls and stuff. Like I have no idea. I've never read anything like this before, so I'm struggling. But I don't know if that's necessarily because she was bad at describing it, or if it was because I have no concept to mirror it on, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a combination of both. I don't know. Trying to give her the benefit of the doubt.
I think having 10 deities is like, you know, that seems plausible, but having the whole 10 thing because I got the book after I got the audiobook. So it's like I started listening to the audiobook first, and I was just like, I had to make myself like a little cheat sheet because I thought that most of the gods and deities were going to be a lot more involved than they were. So I was like, how the hell are we going to keep all of these straight? And then it was just like, yeah, didn't really need all that. Never mind.
Yeah, I definitely starting off the book was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I didn't need to be as worried as I was.
No.
It'll be interesting. I wonder if those will come more into play too. Since now the gods are reawakened, or like the magic is reawakened. Like, are they gonna play a bigger part now?
I hope so.
Me too, but also that's gonna be hard to follow.
Yeah.
I think it'll be cool. So I think I have one last question, and then we can start wrapping up. But what do you think is gonna happen in the sequel?
Well, I think that somehow, some way, Zaylee will get her magic back.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that okay. I don't know how many books there are going to be. So
3, I think.
There's going to be 3. So I think that in the 3rd book is when the actual war is going to occur. Like whatever big war is going to happen in the 3rd book, but we're going to get lots of political distress between the groups of people that are existing in this world, the non-magic and the magic. Oh, that's the other thing that happened. She didn't just awaken magic in the people with white hair. She awakened magic in everyone.
Everybody. I know.
I said that.
I forgot and I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. My mind is blown. I forgot about that.
That's the part of the ending that I was like, oh my god, I have to read the next book. Like, what is going to happen?
I was literally just trying to figure out what kind of spellcaster that Amari was, because she was the one that opened up her hand and then she had the blue flame. So I was like,
oh, I hadn't thought about that.
I forgot. Okay.
So maybe there may be new guards as well.
Oh,
possible.
Because it was the incantation that she said was not the incantation from the scroll, so it's going to be mainly based from people from her lineage, and they might have worshipped other gods as well.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. That's interesting.
Have I just blown your mind, Cassie?
Holy shit. This is why I remember finishing that book and was like, what? Excuse me. What? It's been a while, so now I didn't remember it until just now, so I'm reliving that in this moment.
I'm hoping that in the next book we get an explanation of how Inan had magic in this book. Like, that whole thing was just kind of glossed over. Like, he's growing something white on his hair, and he has magic all of a sudden because he touched the scroll. But I'm like, why? Like, that didn't happen to anybody else. Like, why did he magically get magic when nobody else could just from touching the scroll? So I'm hoping it's explained in the next book, because that was kind of a plot holy thing that I was just confused.
I have a theory about that, actually.
Okay, I want to know your theory.
I think that Amari is her mother and father's child. They are both humans, so the magic in her blood are farther down in the lineage than just immediate. But I think that Inan is a mistress's child that was magic, And
Yeah.
so his magic was stronger than Amari's. So when she touched it, obviously nothing happened. But not that many people touched the scroll that weren't already magi. Or is that what they were called? Oops,
Yeah,
did I-
they're called magi.
That's right, right?
I mean, I'm thinking
So,
about like the
yeah.
guards and stuff that were handling it. I mean, maybe they touched it with something in between, but like whoever
Yeah.
found it, like, and the king had it before. So I was kind of thinking along those lines. I thought maybe the king wasn't actually. I mean, I feel like it's kind of hard sometimes to not know who your mom is, right? Because you come out of her stomach. So I was thinking the opposite, and that maybe
It could be the dad.
actually the dad, but the king doesn't know that. But it still doesn't make sense that, like, because didn't Amari and the other people who have magic, the magi, or like the kids of the magi, they already had white hair, right? Like even before they touched the scroll, they already had their white hair. So like, why does Xenon not have the white hair? And even when it does happen, it's just like a little bit of white hair. So like,
Yeah.
I'm so confused, but I was kind
can
of
I
thinking along
interject?
those lines. Yes, yes.
I need to interject here. Remember when all Inan ever did was carry around the pawn, and then Zaylee ended up turning around and saying to him, "This is pure magicite."
Yeah.
So maybe
Mind
oh
blown.
shit.
That could totally be it.
That
Like,
could
he'd always carried that on him.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Why did he have that? Is that something
his
that like him
father
and his
gave it
dad?
to him. So it could have been that his father noticed that he was getting, like, that he had white hair or something, and that he was always giving him magicite stuff to hide it.
Mm,
Ooh,
I like this theory.
I like it too. Too bad the king is dead, because then we could ask him.
Right.
Oh no, he deserved to die.
I
Not
mean,
too bad about it. He really.
So
deserved
does
to
this
die.
mean that, like, is Inan gonna become our main villain then?
I think
The
so.
king is dead?
I
think
don't.
Shannon might like surface and become the new villain. I don't know.
I
I don't
don't
know who else
think
it would
so.
be. Unless it's someone we haven't met.
Probably. I don't think it would be
Or it
Inan
could be the
because
queen.
I think with the showdown between Inan and his dad right at the end, when Inan went to go save him, and then obviously his dad saw that he was a magic user, and then he completely just was like, no, you are no longer my child. I have no love for you whatsoever. I think that
Makes
would have
me so
actually
mad.
broken him. So I don't think he would turn
Become
to.
the main villain anymore?
No, I don't think so.
Ooh, it could be the queen too. Like, she's not a nice person.
Mm-hmm.
Could be it. I don't know. Ooh.
Just Amari
Or maybe-
rocking back up to the palace saying, I'm queen now. Shoo. Goodbye.
Mhm.
Maybe the king is gonna come back to life though.
Maybe.
Who has control over that? Oh, is Amari a healer? No. Not that she would heal him, but there's gonna be a
Zaylee.
bunch of new healers coming out because we reawakened all this magic. So like somebody could heal him. And then he could be all distraught because a healer saved his life. Ooh,
And he has magic now.
the king?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
think
I mean,
about it. If she
everyone has
brought
magic,
magic
yeah.
back to everybody, he then becomes something that he hates.
Yes, I hope that's true. I love that idea. Okay, that's what needs to happen in the sequel. I'm requiring it. Tell me if you're watching. Change your plot if you didn't have it in there. Okay, does anyone have any last minute questions in the chat or any last minute comments or questions from you guys before we wrap up?
No, I think we covered everything.
Got it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for hosting with me. Do you guys want to say your channels one last time for everyone to go follow you? Samantha, you go first.
Okay. I'm from Samantha's Books.
And
Sorry. I'm Paula from Fandom and Books. I just saw Sierra's comment saying Peter for life.
oh my god.
And I'm over at Bedtime Bookworm.
I'm putting them in the chat right now in case anyone the spelling. Bedtime book. Jade, is your channel all one word?
No, it's 2 words.
2 words. Okay, so they're all there. Go and subscribe to them. And if you are on this channel and watching this and you haven't subscribed to me yet, you should do that too. In June, we are going to be reading Deafo by Cece Bell. So if you want to follow the Goodreads page or the Twitter for Sassy Book Club, they're both all in the description box, so you can go do that. The Goodreads page has like groups, topics, so that you can talk spoilery things in the sections. And it also has, I'll be putting up like the time frame and everything for the next live shows, so that if you want like a reminder before it starts, you can click on that and it'll tell you that you RSVP'd and stuff. Not that you need to RSVP, but for your notification if you want it for a reminder. And I had a good time. Thank you guys.
Yeah, me too. This was fun.
Yeah. Good talk.
Yeah. And I'll see you guys very soon in a new video. Bye.